You are watching Rarely Reserved, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. I am Charles, also known as Omnis, and I am here with the Queen of Purple, Sin. I've missed you.
I mean, what can I say? I miss me when I'm not around too.
Yes, you are quite missable, but I'm happy we're back in the vibes. We're back in starting season 2, which is exciting. Do you have any thoughts? You've wrapped the first season of your first podcast. What's the Sin feeling?
Feeling good, feeling refreshed, rejuvenated after a little break, and excited about everything for season 2.
Yeah, we definitely have some fun stuff planned, so we might as well dig right into it. So, Puck, watchers, if you are checking out the show for your first time, we start off every episode with just kind of a fun Star Wars thing. And sometimes we're shouting out people in the community, but we pick who would be on our Puck. And so in this case, since Sin has actually gotten me a Puck for Christmas, if you're not familiar with the concept, the bounty Puck is the thing that, shows who a bounty hunter's tracking down. And that's just what we named it. So it's kind of who we're tracking. And so I love that I have Pucks in the background now when we're recording. That's so cool. But the question is who is going to be on the Puck this particular week? And I'm going to repeat a Puck from season 1, and that is Boba Fett. But we're not going to talk about Daimyo Fett from his show in like the Mandalorian time period. I want to talk about Boba Fett, Empire Strikes Back, and a little bit of the history of Boba Fett to kind of start things off. So I'm just Boba Fett hyped. Sin, do you have Boba Fett thoughts before I dig in?
I mean, from like my original exposure to Boba Fett was was when he was a little kid. So most of it was like, another little child. I'm a little child. This is a character I can relate to. And then things deteriorate.
I think a lot of us can probably sympathize and empathize with a child who went through some traumatic shit when they were younger. But we're not actually doing Baby Boba or Little Boba or Kid Boba. We're doing Emperor Strikes Back Boba. And the reason why I wanted to do him on this particular episode is because when Pure was on the show, which, by the way, how sad was that you didn't get to hang out with Pure? I'm sorry that you weren't on for that.
It felt targeted.
He definitely, as we were starting the episode, was going, he's like, I was pretty sure Sin wasn't going to be here, but it doesn't mean that I'm not sad about it right now.
I was also sad.
But one of the things that he and I were talking about as we were just kind of discussing Boba Fett and the fact that at some point I remember before I even knew much about Mandalorians, I knew that Boba Fett wore Mandalorian armor. And we started wondering mid-episode, when did that first come out? When I wasn't sure if that's one of the weird things that I got from like a Star Wars role-playing book when I was a kid. And because that was the first time I heard about Night Sisters, which is in the role-playing book. I was just wondering, like, where did it come from? How far back does it reference that he's actually wearing Mandalorian armor? And we started talking about, we didn't know. A quick Google search didn't answer. I know you're not nearly as Mando hardcore as I am, but is this something that you've wondered at all?
Like the origins of Mandalorian armor? Only insofar as when I first watched, like the original trilogy, Boba really like stuck out as like, oh, he's cool. You can't see anything about his face or anything, but you're like, I know a cool guy when I see one. And then you think, it's just basically on the same lines. Where does that come from?
Yeah, and obviously I grew up and we're like, all of us as kids were talking about how there's this bounty hunter. We'd heard that he like took down Jedi and stuff and like hunted Jedi with Vader, and that he was just this dude with no force powers, but like captured Jedi. And just the concept of this dude who had cool gadgets and stuff in his armor thought was so awesome. but I wanted to know where it came from. And so today, right before recording the show, this comic book, whoop, right there, arrived today. And I believe that this comic book is the first reference to Mandalorians. And we've kind of flipped through it. It references him being part of these Mandalorian commandos. Now, obviously, the exact story that's told in this comic is not canon. It has definitely been changed. But this comic book came out a little bit before Empire Strikes Back, kind of setting up some of the things for it. So it's possible. I don't know. There might be a reference to it before, but this came out before the movie with him in it. So I think there's a reasonable chance. And it has cool Boba Fett art on the front. And so somehow people read this comic, and that's how just like, oh, he's got Mandalorian armor. And I didn't realize in my research, it actually references Mandalore the planet in the comic as well, which I was not expecting. So I thought that was so cool.
Definitely, we got a little bit extra. So what a treat.
Well, and there's a lot of Mando-related stuff up here. So I've definitely dig the whole concept. One of my favorite role-playing characters was a Mandalorian, and yeah, so I'm really happy that that's kind of now a part of my collection. It might be, it's up there with one of my favorite things that are behind me, but there's some other cool stuff behind me. Puck from you, artwork from Sarah Cool. There's cool shit behind me. But I would say that's definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, I for something that I was surprised that I didn't know, and now I think I have the answer to, is just a weird Star Wars nerd feeling of coolness.
Yeah, I get that. Force, yeah, as they say.
All right. Well, yeah, beyond that with Boba, I just agree with you. Cool dude. Like, from the moment you see him, you're like, this dude's badass. And so to have that kind of go the whole time, and like always wondered, his story has changed and evolved a few different times. There was a bunch of books before Disney took over where he even becomes the Mandalore at a certain point in the story. And a lot of that stuff has changed, but he's just such a character that a lot of us were drawn to as a kid, and now gets expanded on in a cool way. So I'm happy to rep Boba Fett. And, I think if people wanted to pipe in and comment on this one, tell us what you like. How do you feel about Boba Fett? Or like, what was the thing that was drawn to you? Was it like the ripcord launcher? Because that was definitely one of the coolest things. It's so funny that we got laser swords, and him just shooting out some rope from his wrist he basically was Spider-Man.
The thing that sticks out for me, or my memories of Boba Fett, is just the scene where he just gives the single nod.
Yes, and him tracking down Han. Like, Han got away from everyone, but didn't get away from Boba Fett. And so that was just intense in general. And Vader, showed a degree of respect. Not the same, not Emperor respect, but there was a degree of respect towards Boba Fett that he didn't have towards most everyone else. So it was also kind of like, oh, damn. Oh, shit.
Yeah, he was that guy. He was that guy.
All right. Well, listeners, watchers, that's kind of what we start off on. This was a weird one because I wanted to talk about that comic, and I'm probably going to flip through it more. And I've got the Empire Strikes Back novel coming as well that came out before the movie, and there's things referenced in that. So I wanted to see how much was referenced in that versus this comic, and just I'm interested in just being a part of the beginning of how everything developed, because this was a random word that George Lucas came up with before Empire Strikes Back even came out, and just picked a word that's like Mandalorian armor. And yeah, and so I think that's cool as hell. But weirdly enough, it does play into what I've been up to. But I want to kick it over to you first. What's been on your Star Wars Shatterpoint planning, hobbying, playing in this past week or so?
Well, I have a list that I have ready to go of what basically I'm going to do as soon as I can. Very TLDR, I hurt my shoulder. I'm getting an MRI in a couple days. Hopefully it's good news, and that means I can just be back to normal painting and doing things very shortly. But in the meantime, I've been planning. And so my big plan is actually a list that is all models that I have not played yet, nor have I assembled or painted. And so I'm really excited about it. I have a color scheme picked out, well, mostly picked out. It'll be kind of like the way that most of my, like I did the original guys and how I did, all of my, like beige and shroot there and those like purples and oranges. But I want to keep the trend, like combine the way that I did like Grievous and, like Dooku and those like deep purples into those oranges. I know that I picked that kind of retro style, but I want to like peel that because I just love the way those colors work together of the like purple, green, and orange. So I want to peel my favorite parts of that and then make this list. And it is, I call this list Your Princess is in Another Death Star because it's an all ladies team and I'm just like really excited about it. I don't know that it'll be good or functioning, but it will be fun.
You gotta tell, I can't tease me all of that way and then not tell me like what is the actual list that you're working on?
I mean, part of it's super simple because part of it's just the whole box with the like Queen Amidala box just together because that's already all ladies. So, and then the other one is Leia, Driving to the Last, along with Sabine and Fourth Sister. So.
Okay. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff in there because you get some revenge trigger action, you get some moving stuff around with Padme and Leia. Leia has a lot of like cross synergies. So it could end up being more interesting than you'd think. And it's obviously it's mother-daughter, as well. So you got vibes there. And I think Fourth Sister is a little underrated. And if there's going to be a list that you play it in, you probably want to play it with Revenge, which Leia has.
Yeah.
If I were to have just any like general list building concerns is that I have struggled sometimes with Leia with Sabine not having enough Spectres and Mandos around to get her free focus can be a little bit restricting, but I think that's probably like, it might be fine, but that would be like my only spot in there where I'm like, is she going to do enough in that particular situation? But I think the rest of the list has a lot of cool synergies. And so even if Sabine's not perfect, it also means you have one spot where you're like, if another 4-cost secondary comes out and I want to roll this in and keep with my all ladies team. But, maybe we have to record a video with your all ladies team when it gets painted up just to like showcase it.
That'd be great. I'm excited about it, and I knew I needed to pick a first team back that I just was excited about, and not the one that I was feeling competitive about, because I'm like, I've had a long break because of injury, and then also holiday. So I don't want my first games back to be like, this is a really good list, because then all I can do is disappoint myself by not playing it very well. So if I'm like, oh no, I'm jumping back in, this is off meta list, whatever, and I just love the way they look, I'm going to have a much better time and it'll be good. And so, fingers crossed I can do this soon.
Yeah, I believe in you. I'll have to figure out something like weird to play against it. Do I want to do father-son, play like a Vader-Luke thing? Or, what would I build? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But yes. I played, so obviously been doing ton of video content and stuff. If you are listening to the show and you're not aware, the show is up on my YouTube channel, Omnis Protocol. It has some MCP stuff, some Shatterpoint stuff. And so you can watch the show if you're listening to this on Spotify or something and you want the visual part of this stuff. We're even going to do some visual stuff in this particular episode. Check it out there. I've been releasing gameplay with commentary every week, and that's been a lot of work, but very rewarding, and I'm trying to level things up. But also painted up Hondo, and the reason why this plays off Boba. So when I first painted Ezra, I didn't want to do the colors that Ezra wore in the show. I was like, I want to do something different. I want to do something more scoundrelly. So I ended up painting my Ezra in the OG Boba Fett colors, the kind of desaturated green with a little bit of dark red and like some kind of pale yellow. And I really liked how that looked on Ezra, and I thought gave him this kind of cool, just scoundrel vibe. And so when I was going to do Hondo, I also was like, I want to do him a little bit different. And then I was like, why don't I'll do the Boba Fett thing on him again. And then I realized as I go to work on him, that's what the fucking designers did. His coat is Boba Fett colors, and it didn't occur to me until just that moment because it's got the Boba Fett green, and then it's got trim in the Boba Fett yellow, and then it has red. It is they did the exact thing that I was thinking of doing. And so just funny realizing that I know what they were thinking of when they were doing it.
That's kind of incredible. It was Boba all along. Boba's sneaking through when you least expect it. Boba.
It's all Fett. But I still ended up doing his a little bit different where I wanted to they clearly were trying to make it not feel like Boba Fett, which is why I didn't notice. When I did Ezra, I painted him very much so that he had the same colors in similar spots. And the kind of the right ratio of more green, less yellow, a little bit of red. And so I painted him more leaning into the right ratio of the Boba Fett colors. And so overall, thought it was cool. He's still not my favorite character overall, but I was happy to put my spin on him, got him tabletop ready, and played my first game with Hondo. Shout out to Lex, one of our war council who played the game against me. Got to kind of try it out, get a feel for the list. Lex was playing Armorer Mando against me, and I was playing Hondo Cad Bane. The list was a little weird. It wasn't my first choice list, but I was trying it out, and definitely was noticing that Hondo definitely smooths out more force concerns than you would probably realize. And just having a primary who can literally move anyone, and kind of like Leia, where I was like, this is powerful in and of itself. He can have kind of some weird lowly activations just because his ratio of expertise to tree and dice is a little weird, but overall it's like, okay, I want to give this guy a try again. I know Hondo's kind of been on your radar a little bit too.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as you figure out a good Hondo list, I'm going to steal it. I'm going to go Hondo Ultimate Businessman, and I'm just going to be like, wouldn't it be nice if I just had that list now? And I'm going to paint it up and play it because I really want to play Hondo because Hondo is a favorite character of mine, actually. So, but I just haven't figured out a list to put him in. So I'm going to make some good business deals and handshake on you with a list, and then I'll play it.
So what I wanted to play, which will probably be the next list that I play with it, is Hondo with Nasser Ree from the Riff box and Weequay Pirates from his own box. And then with the Armorer box was what I want to try with it because all of the Armorer box are scoundrels. So they get synergies with the identity that Hondo has. Hondo can move around paths, which is important. And the reason why I put in Nasiri is because he can either double move himself, but he also can move scoundrels, so he can move anybody in the list as well. So then there's another way to move paths around to get him into the right position. And then there's also interesting synergy where if Armor's on a point or Paz is on a point and they haven't been wounded yet, you can potentially utilize them for Hondo's identity, where I get more dice shooting at this particular dude. The risk is that I potentially strain this person that they were engaged with, but that could be a cool thing for Armorer to push her over the top, because she often falls just 1 or 2 damage short of wounding things sometimes. And so if she's getting an extra 2 dice because she's going on to a point, and people generally ignore Paz, so he might just sit on a point alive and they're trying to gang up on that point. Or she can jump him onto the point, and so he's engaged with the target, and then she gets Hondo dice rolling into someone, and so suddenly she's rolling like 10 dice into an exposed target, and she'll probably shove them out of the position so that, Paz isn't even going to get strained afterwards. So I think there's some cool synergies there, so that's really what I want to try out.
I'm curious to see how it goes.
So yeah, that'll probably be the next list. I do want to shout out, I moved the trophies over onto a table, but I didn't want to say little hobby project, hyped for our LVO qualifier that's coming up at Mox in Bellevue. That's Bellevue, Washington State, kind of just outside of Seattle. But I made these trophies, and the basic gist is I ordered some blocks of wood off of Amazon, painted them black, put some felt on the bottom, kind of created this little plinth, and then Lex, our wonderful war council and friend, printed me off these little plaques to go on the front of it, and then put some models on the top of it, combined with some pieces from a Legion kit that was kind of creating something for them to stand on so that it would have a better connection point to the plinth, and then painted them gold, silver, and bronze. And overall, very happy with how these turned out, and I'm really excited to hand them to somebody in just like 2 to 3 weeks now.
They look extremely good, and I'm jealous of whoever gets them. They're pushing it over the line where I'm like, hey, but it would be nice if there was like a best painted trophy. Maybe I'll skip work and everyone can be mad at me, and I'll try to come use my hurt shoulder to try to get one of these little cool trophy guys.
I was definitely thinking about if I wanted to make a most creative list trophy, and I was definitely considering messaging Lex. I mean, like, how difficult would it be because this one I would have to ask Lex to like change the file, the print file, and like remove
the STL.
The STL, and remove where it says first, second, third, etc. Clear that, and basically stick the force symbol from Shatterpoint onto the thing, and just print it the same size and width and stuff. And then I could make another one, stick someone else on it. We're doing promos from the November League kit thing that would have Savage as the prize card for like the top 4. And so I was thinking I also have an extra Savage, so I was thinking of putting Savage on there. The one I already did is Thrawn for first, Darth Maul for second, Gar Saxon for third. And so I was thinking it would be kind of cool if considered with like, since Darth Maul's already in the mix, have Savage as like a most creative list award, as something that anybody else, could work towards. But I was trying to decide if I wanted to commit to doing another one or not.
I mean, it's a very cool idea, but like, it's one of those things of like, man, if we ran with every one of our cool ideas, like, we wouldn't sleep.
You gotta have time to actually play games and stuff too. But I don't think it would be too hard to make one more. But also, some of the materials and stuff that I have is the right amount to do 3 more trophies for something else down the road. And so it does break up the math of how many things that I need to do another set for something else down the road.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, are you ready for our main topic, our main event?
I am wanting to use this pen so bad.
All right. Well, so we're going to do something a little game showy. We just try to have some fun vibes on the show. And so this one, I didn't come up with a great name for it, but it's basically how well do you know your co-host? And Sin and I started hanging out. It was June or July when we first started just like hanging out and doing some gaming shit.
Yeah, it's been a little over 6 or 7 months. That's crazy. It's very long and not very long at the same time.
Yeah, we definitely hung out a lot since then, but it's a short window. So I don't know how many of these questions we're going to get right. Because there's definitely ones where I'm like, I'm putting the question in and I'm thinking, does she know this, or is she going to think the answer is this because I've talked about that more? There's definitely some ones where I'm like, I'm curious.
I am fully expecting to get most of these wrong, and I am okay with that.
I'm very concerned that I will get most of them wrong as well. But we'll try it out, and maybe the listeners can kind of play along and see if they can answer as well, because the listeners might know you almost as well as I know you at this point.
I maybe one or two, The rest I need to get to know better.
All right. Well, let's dig in. Let me pull up the questions real quick before I forget over here. Okay. So keep in mind, these are not necessarily going to be in the exact order that I sent them to you in, but I might need to go through them in order just so I don't forget which ones we've already done. But let's start off with the easiest one, which is, in the opinion of your co-host, who is the best character in Star Wars? This is not specifically Shatterpoint. This is in the Star Wars universe. And so, do you want me to go first, or do you want you to go first? And if I go first, I'm trying to guess your answer.
I want to guess your answer.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we have whiteboards, and we are going to write down. So what's going to happen here is I'm writing down my answer, and Sin is going to write down what she thinks my answer is. And then we have a process for revealing and talking about it. So I do, in fact, have my answer written down. So you go ahead and reveal first.
Oh, I'm scared.
So what's your reasoning? Obviously, there's a lot of Din Djarin stuff behind me, so I think there's that leads to it. But what's your thought process?
It's a little bit because there's an overrepresentation of them behind you, but also you're just a Mando guy. But I feel like, as much as we've talked about Boba today, and I just feel like maybe I'm wrong, I'm probably wrong, but when you've talked about the Mandos, I think you have the most fondness, or at least the most appreciation for the Mandalorian. And at least the times you've talked about him, you've been like, oh, or like even when we did Purse Dog episode, you were like, I want to have Grogu as my Purse Dog. I don't know. I just feel like that you respect and admire him, and I don't know. That's where my brain went.
All right. Well, are you ready for me to reveal my answer?
Stop. Just hurry up. Oh, yeah. Dang it. Hindsight's 2020. Am I right?
So remember, because some people are going to be listening, you got to read off. We got to read off each other's answer. So my answer is actually Ahsoka. And so this was one that I thought was a little bit of a trick question. And so I was a little nervous because I felt like you would probably answer Mando, because I think it's a very reasonable answer. And I love Mando as a character, but he doesn't have as much story. And what makes Ahsoka so special as a character is that we get so much depth in like her story just in general. We see her as a teenager Jedi flung into a massive war, seeing her master basically commit war crimes. She's put on trial as a terrorist and a murderer. She's convicted. She clears herself. She's invited back into the Jedi Order and denies it and goes out on her own. She rescues Rex from Order 66. She defeats Maul. She survives the Empire. They're just like, she's part of the beginning of the rebellion. And like, there's just so many layers to her story, from being a teenager to being this adult that's trying to find her way through all of this. I just think she's just like a crazy cool character. And so, yeah, that's why she's my fave. But, are you, and I feel like I have said that at least once, which is why I wasn't unwilling to drop that on you.
Yeah, like I said, hindsight's 2020. I think Ahsoka is Ahsoka's a solid answer to that question. You're right. She has so much of the Star Wars story represented in her story. So yeah, solid.
All right. Are you ready for me to try to predict your answer, which I have a feeling will be wrong as well? Mouse droid. No, I'm kidding. All right. All right. We ready?
Yes.
All right. Time to write stuff down. And then all of a sudden I can't spell. Do I know how to spell the name of your favorite character? Have you already written it down?
Yes. I am. Yeah, I'm ready. So I've got it written. I'm like, I know how to spell it.
All right. Are we ready to reveal?
Ready.
Okay. So this one I reveal first.
What could possibly make you say General Grievous?
Well, the logic is General Grievous is someone that you've specifically commissioned art for. You talk about Grievous. By the way, I was very tempted to write down Geeby Boy, but I wasn't sure if you'd give me full points.
You know what's funny? What's so funny about that is that I stopped myself from writing Geeby Boy and let myself write General Grievous. I was gonna write it, and then I was like, oh no, I have to be an adult. I have to write General Grievous. No, yeah. That's my, it was never gonna be anyone else. Maybe a Gonk droid, but no, be one. But yeah, General Grievous. Yeah, you nailed it.
Well, I might get a bonus. But I really think it would have actually been funny if we both wrote down Geeby Boy. Would have been hilarious. I definitely would get bonus points for that.
You get bonus points for having said, like, we did the same thing. We both thought Geeby Boy and then went to General Grievous.
If you're new to the show, there was a long-standing story of Sin playing in a GT, and she referred to, not in a GT, so this was when we just went to Vancouver, but referred to Grievous as Geeby Boy in a game, and might have confused her opponent just slightly.
Yeah, she looked at me like, what? Sorry, General Grievous, I'm an adult.
All right, well, let's go ahead and dig into the next one before these take forever. All right. Yeah, I'm going to do a painting one. So we're going to do one out of order. So again, I'm going to kind of go for, hopefully this is on the easier side. In the opinion of your co-host, what is the best paint for miniatures? And so I will try to guess yours first.
Like the best brand?
Yes, the best,
okay.
the best brand. So, all right. Got to remember to talk while I'm writing on whiteboards, so that it stays.
It doesn't. It's just total utter silence while we're writing.
All right, I am ready. You say when.
Okay. Monument hobbies. All right. And your reasoning is?
I mean, I wasn't confident in my answer for sure, because I know you own a ton of different paint lines. And so I was thinking, which one? So I definitely went back and forth on this. So a little bit I'm guessing.
Okay. Do you want me to show you the real answer?
Let's do it. Oh, so I got it right.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, I use the paint, like a paint name rather than the company's name, but yeah, it's Pro Acryl by Monument Hobbies. It was, I found them a while back, maybe like a year ago, and it was kind of like, it didn't be like, oh, this is so amazing that it ruins all other paint for me. It was just like, oh, this is like, very good, and it works the way that I paint really well. And so you see my painting station. I have a smaller painting station, so I don't have a ton of room to have every single paint out at once, every single brand out. So I really can have one of a brand out at a time, and it's really just become that Monument Hobbies stuff is the stuff that's out always.
Makes sense. All right. Well, are you ready to reveal for my answer?
I'm writing it, but I am very not confident in this at all, because I have not really seen you paint that much, and I'm like, there was a couple times we've done hobby days, but I'm so fucking conceited and self-centered. I was only paying attention to what I was doing. So like, what were you doing? Let's see. All right, I'm ready. You're ready?
Army painter. I do use a lot of Army painter stuff for my washes and for my metals, or not all of my washes, but like the colored washes. So they're probably the ones that I use the second most. But are you ready?
I'm in shambles right now.
Are you ready for the full answer?
Yes. No, God, please, no. It's Pro Acryl too. I'm gonna lose it. I'm 0 for 2 and you're 2 for 2. We can't post this video. Video canceled.
Well, so far I'm doing pretty well. I thought this was going to be the easy one because I paint almost everything with Pro Acryl except for some shades and some metals. Everything else I basically use Pro Acryl. I guess I do the rims of the bases in an Army Painter Black as well, but pretty much everything else is Monument Hobbies. And we are not sponsored by Monument Hobbies. This just happens to be that both of our favorites. I thought there was a chance that your answer might be the Citadel stuff. I thought there might be enough of that stuff that you might use because you came from Warhammer first and you might be, cursed.
No, I have extremely strong opinions about every paint brand. And my opinion about Citadel is, I will give the abridged version. Citadel is great when you're starting out. If you would like to paint Warhammer models exactly as they appear on the box. If you want to do anything else, use anything else.
Makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next question. In the opinion of your co-host, who is the best primary in Shatterpoint? The best primary in Shatterpoint. And what we're going to do is, just to keep things flowing, I'm going to start off and I'm going to guess Sin's opinion for best primary in Shatterpoint. So, all right. So you talk while we write.
Okay. Wait. Best on what axis? Like my favorite to play, what I think is most competitive?
Whatever axis you want. This is just your opinion for best primary.
Okay, and you're guessing mine first?
Yep. So you write down your actual answer.
I'm a talk. So this is interesting because I think that I will, if I think any longer, I'm going to overthink it. So I kind of just have to go with my gut answer. And I'm going to be so sad if you get it.
All right. You say when to reveal.
All right. I'm ready. Jin. Okay. I'm guessing that's because of my super fun time at LVO.
Well, you had really good experiences with her. You liked painting her. You like. This was a little bit of a guess because I felt like it could go a lot of directions, and I just thought she hit on a lot of the right notes for you. So that was my guess. What's the actual answer? I did it. 3-0 plus bonus points.
I'm so mad at you right now. I was considering writing something completely different because I was like, I need him to get something wrong. But I'm not that bad of a person, so I just wrote Jin.
Well, I thought there was a general possibility that you answer General Grievous there, right? And plus, there's just a lot of other things that you like and enjoy. So I definitely felt like I was guessing on that one. So
well, you're a better guesser than I am, so.
All right. Well, you write down your guess for my pick for best primate. Now, this is different because I know we did the prior episode where we were talking about the specific answer in the podcast where we were picking, and I said Riff. I just want you to know, like, this is not necessarily best for the game. This is a little bit more personal for me, where I just want to trick you. So I'm going to give you one hint that it's not Riff. Cause I didn't want you to feel like, oh, well, he said Riff was like the most interesting, primary for the game. And I do think he's good for the game in a lot of ways, but he's not my personal favorite primary.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. All right. Let me write it down real quick. I wonder if either of us are smart enough to figure it out based on somebody's hand movements. All right.
No.
Reveal away. So, very, very good answer. Well, what's your logic?
I chose Cad Bane because I feel like he's a character you've talked a lot about, and about not just that you thought he was like underrated, but that he was like your most played character, someone you thought could be really done well if people gave him more time and effort, that he fits well in a lot of different lists. So that's why I chose him.
Very, very reasonable answer. I like Cad Bane a lot. So I can see why that would be your answer. Are you ready to see the answer?
Yes. I'm Mando. My wrong answer from before has come back to haunt me. I should just leave Mando written on this board for every friggin' answer.
I mean, that's not a horrible decision. I really thought that you would had a good chance. I haven't talked about him quite as much on the show, but Mando is definitely my favorite to actually play. Like, I have to choose not to play him so I don't end up with every fucking video on the channel having Mando in it, because I want to build Mando in no matter what primary I want to play him with Mando. I want to play Cad Bane with Mando. I want to play Riff with Mando. I want to play fucking everybody with Mando.
All I'm learning from this is that I am transparent and you contain multitudes.
There's layers to oddness. Okay, next question. We'll keep it going. I'm really impressed that I'm doing so well, and I'm a little surprised that you are not doing as well.
Don't reference it.
All right. In the opinion of your co-host, who is the best secondary in Shatterpoint? And here, I guess I'll guess yours first, because I'm not sure what my answer is at the moment to my own. I forgot that I have to think about my own questions. All right. So Sin's favorite, or what Sin believes is the best secondary, which is actually kind of hard because you've played a few different interesting things. I'm going to guess on this one, and I am definitely, now I'm second guessing my own decision tree here. I had an idea. Maybe I should just go with the initial answer. Yeah, I will go with my initial thought. Okay. All right. I'm ready to reveal. You say when.
Okay, give me 1 second, because I also am deciding, so talk for a second.
No worries. So, yeah, I definitely, I should actually probably be thinking about who is my actual favorite secondary? It's because I'm going to have to answer this in a second. So, all right,
Okay.
but
All right,
we'll
got it.
do yours. I'm confused on my own system. So I'm guessing yours. So
Oh, no. Sorry. It's not K2SO. Oh, I ruined it. I was just so excited for you to be wrong for once.
reasonable. So I was definitely not confident in my decision. I was thinking it's a droid secondary that was in a list that you really enjoyed playing, and so I thought it might be up there. I had a couple other on my mind, but now I'm scared to mention them because if I say a couple of other things that I was thinking about and then none of them were right, I'm going to look even more stupid. So why don't you just tell me who's right?
I'm 0 for 3 right now, but I don't think you can look stupid.
Oh my goodness. So Shock T is the answer. She was honestly, I'll be totally honest, she was not high on my list, and maybe because I wasn't thinking about her as your potential vote, because she is really good. So why tell me how did Shock T end up being your number one?
I think in most of the lists that I play or have played, I don't feel like the secondary was super important unless that secondary was Shock T. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, when I Shatterpoint stuff, it's always primaries or sometimes it's supports, but not usually a secondary except for Shock T. So I'm like, she gotta be the best if I'm choosing her actively to Shatterpoint over Shatterpointing 2 characters or a primary. So I'm like, also I liked painting her. She's a badass.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So, all right, are you ready to do mine? Have you written down your answer for me yet?
I'm not.
You didn't have to erase it. Yeah, for all the reasons you just said. Yes, it is definitely Shock T. She is my favorite secondary to play. I think Rax is really high up there, but yeah, it's definitely Shock T. She's one that if I can play her, I have a really hard time not playing her. So,
Yeah, she's a great.
all right, well, we are going to dig into favorite support now, in the opinion of the co-host. Let's. Do you want to rotate and you go first on this one, trying to guess mine, or is it easier to stay with the flow?
I will guess yours this time.
This also, I did not prepare too greatly for this, but no, I did actually think about this one a little bit, and so I will give. But I don't know. I think this one might be challenging. But why don't you give me a thumbs up when you're feeling ready to go? All right, hit the reveal. Clan Kryze Mandalorians. I definitely like the Clan Kryze unit a lot. I am honestly, a lot of the time, I'm like, God, I really want to put them into this list. And I've done a repaint on them, and I don't know if I've played them since my repaint where I did whole new versions of them. I might have played them like once. I do love Clan Kryze, but why don't you, what was your reasoning?
I just A, little bit they're Mandos, B, they're like an OG, and C, I think we were discussing them recently that like there's just they're just good at their job in general, and can solidly do most things. So that was my guess.
All right, well, I will reveal the answer if you are ready.
Oh, Seven Scorch. Okay, yeah. I mean, they're good, I guess. I guess they're good. Meh. You chose a good unit.
Yeah, I did. It was tough because I mean I like a lot of different support units, and I think Clan Kryze are certainly in the conversation. I like Seven Scorch because, and why I picked them like over like Baze and Chirrut was because Baze and Chirrut refresh a force, which is nice, but I like that Seven Scorch can be a great activation even when you're full on force because they just get to do their initial dash for free. And I love that they have the bomb option as well to kill things in a different way, and also helmets, so they're like Mando adjacent for me.
Yeah, I get it. Fine.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. So now I am going to guess yours.
Yes. So
yeah, are you ready?
yes. The B1s. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder what would make you say that.
So I know that they're not the best unit in the game, but I didn't know what your answer would be outside of guessing B1s, as they're just one of your favorite characters in all of Star Wars. And so I was going with B1s because I figured I had a better chance of being right with that than I did with trying to guess whether you thought Baze and Chirrut were the best, or whether or not you thought, ARFs or any number of different units. So that's why I went that way.
Solid and understandable. Solid and understandable. I do love B1s. They're my boys.
All right, I think we're ready to reveal then. What is the answer? 501st. I would not have guessed 501st. You got to tell why 501st the bestest.
I think because when I initially started playing Shatterpoint, it was with all droid list, because that was your easiest sell to me to play the game, was to get me interested in droids. But then my second list had the 501st in it, and I think that if I try to recall moments where the supports were doing the most for me, or where I felt the most like, I don't know, I was involved in what was happening, it would be the 501st. I think a little bit of it is actually just because of playing these games as a kid, and then feeling very connected, like the boys are back, let's go with boys. And so like I feel that connection with the 501st, and it makes me really excited about them, and it's excited to play them. Where even though I think Baze and Chirrut are objectively better as a unit, and I think I really, really love how I painted them, I don't have as much of an emotional connection to that unit. And same with the B1s, where that might be one of my favorite Star Wars things. I don't have as much of a connection to the actual models, where the 501st, I feel very connected to them as a unit in the game.
No, that makes total sense. I had no idea on that one. So, and I've lost track of points here. I think I'm still winning, but it's closer than it was earlier on. So let's go ahead and get into the next question. And this one is, what color primer does your co-host use the most on their miniatures? And for clarity, why don't we do Shatterpoint miniatures, just in case you're so artsy fartsy that I figure we might need to narrow down. You're like, well, on vehicles I use this, and on mouse droids I use this, and Shatterpoint miniatures, not terrain necessarily. So I will guess yours first, and so we'll start there.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Black. Got it.
So I've seen you paint a lot of miniatures, and I notice that you generally, I think you prime black and then like dry brush white on them afterwards before you start painting them in a lot of cases. So that's why I was guessing that you are a black primer first.
Yep, I do that.
All right. Well, why don't you reveal what is the actual answer? It is black. I am so smart, SMRT. All right. So we can gear up for what is my answer. And I have primed models around you at least a few times. So you just let me know when you are ready to go, and we will fire away. And does she know? The most important question in any podcasting relationship that's related to a miniatures game is, what color primer does your co-host use?
Just don't phrase it like that, because it's going to make me feel worse when I'm wrong.
So her answer is white. Why do you think that white is the primer that I use?
I think it's kind of a guess based off of, I've only seen you have stuff just primed a handful of times, and they've been white. but like I've also you're very good at only having minis painted. You don't have a lot of work in progress stuff. So that's a bit the way that I will just have a row of models that are primed and not painted. So I'm kind of like, this is a shot in the dark.
Are we ready for the answer?
Oh my gosh. Yay. It's white. I'm right. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes. Yes. All right. So my little bit of insider knowledge came in clutch.
Yeah, so I used to be a prime black person, and especially it's nice for hitting weird crevices and stuff. I always get annoyed when I primed white, and then I realize I missed like a fucking spot in the armpit or some shit, and now there's white there. If it's black, I don't care as much. But when it's white and it really stands out, that annoys me more. But to be entirely honest with you, it kind of started with Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I think I'm just getting older. And it's harder to see the detail lines and such when I prime black. And sometimes I need white so that I can see certain details and stuff that I will otherwise miss. And sometimes I'm just not patient enough to paint colors over black. I will say, I do generally, if I'm really taking my time with something, I will try to prime the base black so that I have black primer around the rim, because I'm then going to paint black over it. And if some of that rubs off, I prefer obviously black primer to reveal as opposed to a different color of primer. But no, white is what I prime the vast majority of stuff with.
Solid. Yeah, I understand that.
All right. Well, this is going to be the last question of our how well do you know your co-host? In the opinion of your co-host, which tag would they most want new characters for? So this is an existing tag. You cannot choose a tag that does not yet exist. So it has to be an existing tag. And I will guess for you first, since I'm ahead. And I'm going to write it down on this whiteboard right now. And totally guessing, because we have actually not talked about what we want more of that often. So there's definitely some guessing going on here. But you let me know when you want to reveal.
All right. Battle droid. Okay, yeah. Tell me more.
Well, so this is the thought process. I was like, Separatist is probably up there for you. But I was kind of just basically weighing Battle Droid versus Separatist. And I think while Separatist, you would definitely be very excited for more Separatist models. I think you would just be more excited for just more random fucking droids, Droidica, like anything in the Battle Droid realm. You would be so happy if it comes to the game, even if it wasn't Separatist. So that was my logic. Why don't you tell me if I'm right or wrong? Oh, it was Separatists. Okay. Did you forget Battle Droid existed, or did you debate between the two and chose Separatist?
I did not forget droid. Because me forgetting that droid exists, I will forget a lot of things before I forget about droids. No, it was Separatist because as much as I adore and love droids, it was actually, you forgot my overwhelming love, which is General Grievous, and I want more things that I could pair with him and have, like, the more things in Separatists that are good, the more likely it could be that General Grievous might be playable again. So I want that. That's what was my brain. That's what my brain was doing.
So, unless the model that comes out specifically does things for Separatists, Grievous doesn't actually have any innate synergies with Separatists. All of his stuff works on Battle Droid. But I wasn't thinking
I want more of that.
I wasn't thinking that you forgot about Droid. I was just wondering if maybe you forgot Battle Droid specifically. That's all. But I apologize for questioning the Droid Queen in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you. I think.
But either way, I knew it was Separatist or Battle Droid, and so I kind of had to, it was a 50-50. I thought it could go either way. So, all right. Are you ready to guess mine?
No.
I believe in you. This This one you have to be able to get. I 100% believe that you know in your heart of hearts what tag I would want more of.
Why do you keep making it worse for me? Every time you say something, this gets worse for me. I'm so scared right now.
I'm putting you on the spot. That is the challenge of this. You've made up at least a few points. It's not as big a deficit as it started off with. So I think I will have to count up points, but I don't know if I want to. I might make you talk for a minute while I count up the points of who got the most. But
all right,
are you ready to guess?
I'm ready.
Her answer is Mandalorian. So tell me why you thought Mandalorian was the correct answer.
I'm scared. Because he's your boy. It's your favorite character to play. It's easier to have excuses to play him if there's more things to play with him.
Are you ready for the answer?
Yes. Success, it was Mandalorians. Yay, okay. I can somewhat sort of redeem myself a little bit. Although, I feel like you deserve the point for the last one, even though you were technically wrong, because I think you're right. I forgot that Grievous has more synergies with droids than separatists. So we'll retroactively apply that one to you.
No, I don't think I can steal that point. But I know this one I thought you had to be able to get. Especially the way that you spoke about favorite Star Wars character, you were definitely keyed in on Mandos are my favorite thing. There is no tag that I would be more excited about than Mandos by far. Nothing else is even remotely in the conversation compared to the Mando tag.
Solid. I'm glad at least I could figure that one out. It would have been so funny if I had said like Bad Batch or something.
No, you're not that much in the dark. All right. Why don't you talk for a second, tell the listeners what you thought of this game, and I'll see if I can tally our score real quick.
I simultaneously think that the questions could have been more difficult and less difficult because apparently I know nothing, but also it'd be funnier if we both know nothing. So, maybe round 2 will be something super obscure and difficult. Like, what character would this person pair with this other thing on a Tuesday? And then we can just be hilariously wrong, but have very good reasons for it. And then the reasons will be the interesting part. I like using whiteboards, so I was going to be happy no matter what we did of like, no, I just got to, well, when Amos initially talked to me about this, he was like, oh, I'm going to get, I'll bring you a whiteboard pen. You don't have to get one. And I was like, it won't be magenta, so I'm going to have to bring my own magenta pen because that's my thing. Everything around me is magenta.
Okay. So at a quick glance through these, I'm trying to double check. I think we actually tied.
Really?
I miscounted. It's probably not something I could do feasibly on the spot, but I think it's very, very close at the least. So I know that started off heavily in my favor, but ended up reasonably close. But yeah, trying to count up and remember. I should have been tallying this as we went because that would have been smart, but it was the first time that we were doing this. But I think we could definitely come back and like revisit this down the road. Did you have fun with it?
Yeah, no, I did. Like I said, I think the justifications for the answers is probably the most fun part rather than just whether or not we were correct. So, I think it's something we could do again down the line. Maybe, like I said, with some more obscure stuff or more character related things, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, like it could be fun.
All right. Well, I wrote out all the questions for this one. So next one, you can write out all of the questions. And just as long as there's some Shatterpoint stuff in there. But yeah, you can write out all of the questions, and we'll do it at some point down the road, and I'll get an actual tally of how close we were. But yeah, it was. I would say the one lesson that I learned is that I don't think there's any reason for us to have the other person react, because we're trying to hide our reactions, so you don't know yet whether you're right or wrong. But I was thinking in the moment that when I was theorizing this concept for the episode, that we'd be like, you thought blah, blah, blah was my answer? What possibly made you think? And I thought there would be like funny, silly reactions, but we were like poker facing it, right?
Yeah, trying to keep it together. Like, don't reveal anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is time to close out the episode. And what we generally do is we try to decide whether or not our puck would be rarely reserved. But we have done Boba Fett. And so I thought we would close out the first episode of season 2. Sin, what does being rarely reserved mean to you?
Oh, okay. I see. All right. But, well, I think it's like there's tiers to it. One of them is just the mechanically in the game, not reserving. But even that comes from like thinking more about how to get the best out of every single activation, where like the knee-jerk reaction of reserving is kind of like in response to maybe the first thought that you have. Well, the first thing won't work, and then I'll just reserve. But being rarely reserved is about thinking a little bit more tactically, and ironically, being more reserved. Like, I'm going to take my time and think this through before I jump the gun and reserve this character. So it's a kind of a funny inverse of what it implies, of like, you're going to take the time to think critically in order to not reserve. But also, that just applies to Shatterpoint. In real life, I'm going to say whatever I'm thinking, and we're all just going to laugh and appreciate it. And Omnis will roll his eyes and think, wow, this is the person I chose to make a whole show with. She's crazy. And that's what Rarely Reserved's all about.
So I didn't tell you that was how we were going to end the show, and you gave like a whole thesis. I was ready for, so my answer to this question is Rarely Reserved is don't fucking reserve this characters nearly as often as you are. It's too much. Sometimes you got to roll with the punches. And being rarely reserved on a podcast means we don't hold back. We let you know how we feel about all of this shit. That's what Rarely Reserved is. Later, nerds.
Comm signal lost.